Atop the Empire State Building, silhouetted against the glowing orb of the setting sun, stands an enormous King Kong. Rain pours from the sky, soaking his colossal frame. His thick, dark fur is matted and plastered to his powerful muscles which ripple beneath as he prepares to deliver a thunderous roar. Atop the building's spire, he raises his head back, letting out a primal scream that shakes the very foundations of the city. But there's a sadness in his eyes, a sorrow for the beauty he'll never see again. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the 1930s New York City streets, vintage biplanes circle around King Kong, trying to get a better look at the incredible beast. Their propellers churning the air, kicking up wind that whips through the canyons of skyscrapers. The planes are dwarfed by the immensity of King Kong, their small size emphasizing the truly gigantic proportions of the creature. The massive ape swats at the planes with his huge hand, sending them veering away with startled squawks. Lightning flashes behind him, momentarily illuminating the determined set of his shoulders, the taut muscles of his arms, and the wild tangle of his fur. The light dances in his burning eyes, reflecting both his rage and his profound sadness. Below, the crowds of people in the tiny cars and on the sidewalks raise their heads in awe and terror as they watch the spectacle above them. Some point in wonder, others in fear, while a few brave souls stand transfixed, mesmerized by the sheer power of the creature before them. The buildings around them seem to lean in, as if eager to catch a glimpse of the mighty Kong across the city. In the Art Deco masterpiece that is the Chrysler Building, a young woman in a tailored pantsuit looks out of her office window, her face pale with worry. In her hand, she holds a small model of the Empire State Building, which she turns this way and that, trying to get a better view of the raging storm and the giant ape atop its highest reaches. She had come to New York full of dreams and ambitions, but now all she can think about is the safety of Carl Dent, the movie director who had set out to capture the very same Kang on film. Back then, it had seemed like just another exciting project, just another chance to bring adventure to the big screen. But now, watching the newsreels on the building across the street, she realizes the magnitude of what he had undertaken. She knows that Carl is in danger, and her heart races as she imagines him facing the wrath of the colossal beast. She remembers the day he had first told her about his plans, his eyes shining with excitement as he described the untamed jungles of Skull Island and the incredible creatures that live there. She had listened, captivated by his passion, and then teased him gently about his wild tailies. But now, seeing the reality of Kang, all thoughts of ridicule leave her. Instead, her mind races with worry. She remembers the day he had first brought her to see the creature in person, the way her breath had hitched in her throat as she laid eyes on the massive ape. It had been love at first sight, not for Kong, but for the indomitable spirit that shone through his every movement. She had seen the sadness in his eyes, the loneliness that echoed the depths of her own soul. And in that moment, she had known that she had found something truly special. In the days that followed, she had watched as Carl had formed a bond with Kang, a connection that transcended their differences. He had spoken to the creature in a soft, soothing voice, and Kang had responded with a gentleness that belied his immense strength. She remembered the day they had taken Kang for a walk in the city, the way the crowds had gasped and pointed, their voices a cacophony of fear and wonder. But Kang had remained calm, his eyes gentle and curious as he took in the sights and sounds around him. She had seen the kindness in his eyes, the compassion that shone through his wild, untamed appearance. And in that moment, she had known that she had found a kindred spirit. Now, watching the creature thrash about atop the building across from her, she knew that he was more than just a monster. He was a symbol of the untamed wilderness, a creature of immense power and grace, a being who deserved respect and admiration. The crowd below King Kong begins to grow restless. People move closer to the edge of the sidewalk, straining to get a better view of the raging beast. The cars inch forward, their horns blaring, desperate to catch a glimpse of the colossal ape. Amidst the growing chaos, a young reporter pushes his way through the crowd, his eyes fixed on the towering figure of King Kong. He had heard about the beast from a colleague earlier in the day, and ever since, his mind had been racing with possibilities. This was his chance to make a name for himself, to capture the story of a lifetime. He knew that the other news crews would be there soon, but he also knew that he could be the first to get close to the action, to capture the story that would make him a star. As he moves through the crowd, he sees the fear on people's faces, the awe in their voices. And he knows that he's in the right place, that he's about to witness something truly special. He feels a surge of adrenaline, a sense of excitement that he's never felt before. This is his moment, his chance to capture the story of a lifetime. And he won't let it pass him by. As the night wears on, the storm rages around King Kong. The wind screams through the canyons of skyscrapers, whipping the rain into a frenzy. The lightning flashes, momentarily illuminating the determined set of Kong's shoulders, the taut muscles of his arms, and the wild tangle of his fur. The thunder roars, shaking the very foundations of the city. But through it all, King stands firm, his eyes burning with a fierce determination. The planes have long since retreated, giving Kong the space he needs to rage. And the crowds below have thinned, leaving him in solitude atop the Empire State Building. And in that moment, he feels a pang of sadness, a longing for a time when he roamed free, when he was surrounded by the lush greenery of Skull Island and the comforting calls of his fellow apes. Now he is alone, cut off from everything he has ever known, trapped in a concrete jungle that he does not understand. But as the night deepens, the storm outside begins to mirror the turmoil in Kong's heart. The wind becomes a howl, the rain a torrent, and the lightning flashes with renewed intensity. And in that moment, King feels a sense of kinship with the raging elements, a feeling that he is not alone in his pain. The young reporter watches from below, his camera poised, ready to capture the next shot. He sees the sadness in Kong's eyes, the loneliness that echoes the depths of his own soul. And in that moment, he understands that he is witnessing more than just a spectacle. He is seeing the story of a lifetime, a story of loss and longing, of strength and resilience. And he knows that he will never forget this night, the night he saw King Kong, the saddest giant in the world. As dawn breaks, the storm outside begins to subside. The wind dies down, the rain slows to a drizzle, and the clouds part, revealing the first rays of sunlight. Atop the Empire State Building, King Kong takes a deep breath, his chest heaving. He looks out over the city, the tall buildings and bustling streets, and feels a sense of wonder, a realization that he is truly alone in this concrete jungle. But as the sun rises higher in the sky, the crowds begin to gather once again, drawn to the building by the promise of a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. And as King Kong watches them, he feels a pang of sympathy, a recognition of the shared humanity that binds them together. For in that moment, he knows that he is not just a monster, he is a symbol of the untamed wilderness, a creature of immense power and grace, a being who deserves respect and admiration. He is King Kong, and this is his story.